Roy Clinton claims the opposition still has no visibility of the state of government-owned companies, with indirect debt not recognised, 3-year supplementary appropriation bills outstanding, no proper finance bill, and the last report of the principal auditor was for 2015-16. He says there's no Public Accounts Committee, and the cumulative result is that Parliament cannot exercise any effective financial scrutiny over the government. Mr Clinton claims that although COVID-19 has undeniably cost his community £250 million, with revenues down, it has only served to highlight how this government has previously mismanaged our public finances and continues to do so.
The Speaker is begging for donors to fund public sector projects, and importantly, Mr Speaker, the National Theatre, which they forgot to build despite their manifesto promises, now falls under that category. Mr Speaker, they borrow directly to fund the cost of COVID-19, but they don't have a credible repayment plan that I've heard of. And the UK guarantee for 3 years is far too short. Mr Speaker, our gross direct debt is now 697 million at the 31st of March 2021, having grown by 250 million. The indirect gross debt levels are now at a level we simply do not know if they are affordable or not, which I now estimate at another 959 million. And so, Mr Speaker, our total gross direct and indirect debts I now estimate to be around 1.7 billion. Yes, Mr Speaker, 1.7 billion at the 31st of March 2021, of which, Mr Speaker, only 250 million can be blamed on COVID-19. Mr Speaker, the government is now resorting to borrowing buildings such as the new St Mary's School and the Rook Nursing Home and the hostel by renting them because it simply doesn't have the cash. It is renting vehicles that we will not even own after paying more than it would cost to buy them outright. Mr Speaker, these measures will cost the taxpayer more in the long run, as I can guarantee you, Mr Speaker. The private sector providers will ensure they make a very healthy profit for themselves. Mr Speaker, this government is now scraping together every last penny it can squeeze out of the taxpayer. Social insurance increases, rent increases, fee increases. And yesterday, Mr Speaker, we heard they're even flogging the berths in the small boats marina. Yet, Mr Speaker, in sharp contrast, which the Chief Minister finds so amusing, is that he seems to find the money to pay for the transfer of the rubble mound for the Victoria Quays development and its private developers. Mr Speaker, this is his concept of social justice. This is his concept of socialism. Tax the population, gift to the private developers.
Roy Clinton says there can be no solidarity without transparency and trust. He adds this is not a budget that can be trusted, but a begging bowl budget, lacking in transparency, responsibility and accountability, and that he will simply not vote for it.